Hello, I'm Jen. And I'm Amanda. And we're here to talk to you today about a helpful app called BetterHelp. BetterHelp is private, affordable online counseling.
And people help themselves in different ways.
Totally.
And it affects them so differently.
Yeah.
Like me and Erin both have anxiety, but like we're not affected the same way, really.
Not at all.
It's really strange. Yeah, we want to do this video. We have a really cool sponsor for this video. It's called BetterHelp. And
over the next few weeks or months or years of your life just to help you cope. And I wanted to quickly give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is BetterHelp.
Is being made, what games is it affecting, and what's going to happen, and we'll talk about the results in just a second after I let you know that today's video is brought to you by BetterHelp.com.
Yo, what's good, Tristans and Trist fam? So today we actually have a sponsor. I've never actually had a sponsor before, so bear with me. We're about to jump into the video where me and my girlfriend take a sociopath test, which is gonna be, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'm kind of scared, to be honest. Exposed. Before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about BetterHelp because
I'm Anna Akana. Stay right here for a sponsored message from a gal who makes me feel in awe of her talent, Bethany Radloff. Thank you to BetterHelp for partnering with me for today's videos.
About that, guys, and I really do want to apologize. I've just been struggling a lot with myself lately, so that's the reason. But it's really good that I'm like realizing this stuff. I've been using this website called BetterHelp.com, and honestly, it has helped me so much with realizing who I am and taking a step back to look at my life and realize that I have been putting stuff on the back burner and not really giving.
Horrifying and may linger for a very long time to come. This episode of Seriously Strange is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a provider of affordable private online counseling. BetterHelp offers an incredible amount of fully licensed counselors and therapists who can start talking to you right away to fit your specific needs, even for couples counseling. All you need to do to begin is head to betterhelp.com/RobDyke, linked in the description below, and fill out your questionnaire.
Depression and anxiety seem to be at an all-time high these days. If you're struggling with some shit and are resorting to wanking off to some Fallout 4 mods, I am certainly not helping. But you know what could help? BetterHelp.
Guys, today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is affordable private online counseling. And listen, life can be amazing, it can also be incredibly tough, and everything in between. And I think a lot of people are apprehensive about going and talking to someone in person. With BetterHelp, you get access to licensed, trained, and fully accredited counselors and therapists.
These videos don't make a whole bunch of cash, but if you head on over to nojumper.com, we got all kinds of new designs, new merchandise, so head on over there, give us some support. But also, before I even get into that, conveniently, I do want to say that this video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com. It's a service I actually have used myself.
Where I didn't want to go drive to therapy anymore, and I was doing it all over FaceTime and stuff like that, and it just got hard and it got expensive. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because like I said, I had a friend text me the other day and she's like, I just can't afford therapy right now. And it sucks because it's like, that's probably exactly what she needs. Sometimes if you don't think you even need it yet, but you are struggling, it's actually that perfect thing that allows you not to hit rock bottom and start figuring everything out instead of waiting to hit rock bottom till you talk to someone. What BetterHelp is affordable private online counseling, which is honestly just like a dream come true. In 2018, you don't even have to leave your house, you don't have to stress, you don't have to figure out how to find a therapist and what it's gonna be like and just have all those crazy like thoughts and fears and what ifs. You literally can just do it online. They're all fully licensed.
For me, it's pretty cathartic. And I also have a therapist with BetterHelp that I've told you guys about a few times.
Hey guys, how's it hanging? Today we have the most fitting sponsor possible for this series. Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com is where you can get affordable private online counseling from professional licensed therapists.
So although I did not answer your question, I did want to mention it because this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. I was happy when BetterHelp reached out to me because I really want to mention this to you guys. BetterHelp is an online program that provides service by licensed therapists.
So I really can't believe that I'm making this video because this is a topic that I've never really talked about on home. That's right, no sitting on a stranger's sofa in a sterile looking office while you pour your heart out. You can now do it on your own sofa or on your break at work or in your car, literally anywhere. So what exactly is BetterHelp and how does it work? Well, BetterHelp is an app that delivers the most modern, convenient, and quite frankly, exciting way to explore therapy, whether that's personal therapy, couples therapy, or family therapy. And it's truly the easiest way to gain access to professional, affordable, and discreet counseling from a licensed, fully accredited therapist.
The video, I just want to say thank you so incredibly much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video.
I have had enough, okay? Do people have selective hearing? I keep seeing this criticism over and over again. Why are you labeling Jake Paul as a sociopath without even getting a chance to sit down and talk to him? Like, you shouldn't be putting these videos out labeling him as a sociopath. True Jordy said that. I think that nobody may have said that. And now Jake Paul himself is tweeting out, you're labeling me as a sociopath before you even had a chance to talk to me. And I'm seeing all these people on Twitter saying the same thing. Well, it's unfair to label him without actually diagnosing him. Did we watch the same documentary? Because Shane clearly says that when he was gonna make this documentary on Jake Paul, the thing he kept hearing is that Jake Paul is a sociopath. So then he went to go find out what exactly a sociopath is. Again, Shane's not coming out of the gate saying Jake Paul is a sociopath. Shane is coming out of the gate saying people are calling him a sociopath and have been calling him a sociopath. So I am going to find out what a sociopath is. So all you people bitching and complaining, you have failed. You are poor. You are literally poor because you don't have enough money to pay attention.
everybody, I find myself getting bullied in comments, and I know I've opened myself to a whole nother group of people, and that's fine, and I'm an adult, and like, if I have to block you, that's what I'm gonna do, because I don't have to allow you to hang out in my pool.
Now the cherry on the top, after this video, you know, has described everyone as a sociopath. Basically, anyone falls under this category. It's also sponsored by BetterHelp.
Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. This is something I really think is great, something I actually really believe in.
You're a sociopath. By the way, this video is sponsored by online therapy. Also, this video, enter the coupon code Shane for your online therapy today. By the way, guys, everyone is a sociopath. Enter the code Shane for your cheaper online therapy today. Now, this is one of those online therapy apps. They've been becoming more and more popular. A lot of people have said they work great for them, but they also get a lot of bad reviews saying that they don't work at all. And if they work for you, great, but it's kind of questionable to promote one of these services. I did, I think, a year ago, and they asked me to talk about that, and I'm like, okay, fine. But I would never want to take money from it. I would never want to take money for a mental health app. It just doesn't feel right. And I'm probably the most morally skewed person ever. So for me to come up with that conclusion and not Shane, it's kind of weird.
BetterHelp, the online counseling service, which for full transparency, I'm not sure how familiar you are with these videos or the business side of things that we've talked about with my company on DeFranco Elite. BetterHelp has been a sponsor of our videos. We've even partnered with them at a company level to help them with other sponsorships with other YouTubers. Also, and it's not just a shtick from a sponsor read, it is a service I personally use, a service I personally love. In addition to recommending it in sponsored videos, I recommend it to friends and family, especially friends and family that are like, oh, I don't have the time to talk to someone. And so with all of that kind of explained from the get-go, that's why I was so taken aback yesterday when all of a sudden there was this wave of claims that BetterHelp was a scam. And looking into it, it mainly appears that these claims are coming from kind of these two things that are being connected. One, there are places where there are a lot of reviews from people that weren't happy with the service or the counselors that they had or for a variety of other reasons. And two, you had people calling into question certain parts of BetterHelp's terms and conditions. And those parts hit on things like, while we may try to do so from time to time in our sole discretion, you acknowledge we do not represent to verify and do not guarantee the verification of the skills, degrees, qualifications, licensure, certification, credentials, competence, or background of any counselor. It is your responsibility to conduct independent verification regarding supporting any counselor that provides you with counselor services, whether through the platform or not. And we strongly recommend that you conduct this verification prior to communicating with any counselor through the platform and on a continuous basis as you use the platform, right? And so from that terms of service, there's this question that pops up of, okay, are you just allowing anyone to say that they're a counselor, right? Because that language is concerning and is completely alien to my understanding of how they go and vet these people. So from here, I then reached out to our contact at BetterHelp. We ended up being connected with the founder of BetterHelp, Elan Matas, and he gave me a statement where at one point he talked about the terms and conditions in question, saying, the terms and conditions document typically provides the legalese that defines the extent of liability and mitigates legal risks associated with such platforms. We will be revising the terms and conditions document so it more closely matches the vetting process we currently conduct. And regarding that current vetting process, he said, we have a whole team that makes sure every provider we bring to the platform is fully licensed and in good standing. Providers who apply are required to provide proper licensure documentation, proof of identity, and references from other licensed practitioners who have worked with them. We then cross-check their licensure information with their respective state licensing board. Additionally, our vetting process for each provider, which typically takes 4 to 5 weeks, goes well beyond checking credentials. Each potential provider needs to complete a case study exam by a licensed clinician and a video interview. The result of this rigorous process is that only about 15% of the therapists who apply to work through BetterHelp are accepted to the platform. And then adding that on top of all of that, we also show the full licensing information for each provider to make it easier for users to do their own due diligence on their counselor. And so seemingly the TLDR of that statement is the founder saying we acknowledge that we need to revise our terms and conditions. The way that the legal wording was put into place was to limit liability, but we do vet these people. Also on top of this, Matas has publicly said, you're welcome to go to our provider directory, betterhelp.com/counselors, and see the credentials and licensing information of each one of our providers. And also on top of all of that, they have invited me to their offices to see their processes and procedures. With all of that said, even though I personally trust them, I've had a fantastic experience myself. Moving forward, I'm going to be putting a temporary hold on future BetterHelp sponsorships. This until one, they reword their terms and conditions, which they said that they will, and they really need, I understand the concern there. Like I looked at the site of one of their competitors and they have some of that same distancing language, but it also says that they put in a lot of work. That needs to be made apparent, and I also do need to go there and see what they are actually doing and how they actually do it. And I mean getting them to address the terms and conditions, the vetting process, also the other complaints and criticisms of the service overall. And also on that note specifically, I requested and they accepted for me to either bring a journalist with me or to have one come in addition to me. And I think that's an important part because I am aware that because of my relationship and partnership with BetterHelp, there's no way that to everyone it can seem unbiased when I go there. And so today, and all of this of course is still developing, I reached out to a journalist that covered the controversy around BetterHelp and invited them to come with me or in addition to. They said that they're interested and hopefully we can arrange for something sooner rather than later. But ultimately, that is where we are right now. Understand I take the situation very seriously and I will keep you up to date as things develop. We've even partnered with them at a company level to help them with other sponsorships with other YouTubers.
There's the Rogue Rocket. I don't know if you can see that. Is that showing on the screen? Hold on.
I don't know what Rogue Rocket is. So you know for a fact, like you can prove that's DeFranco's company?
Yes.
Yes.
Now if you see,
So if I go to roguerocket.com, yeah, there's DeFranco.
right there,
Okay.
right there up top. I got it highlighted now. You should be able to see it on screen. That's Rogue Rocket right there in the URL tab. So.
Yep, I do see it. And so that's if you go for if that's
People can
if you
just
go
look
to,
at it through the. Here's the. Hold on, let me.
But you get that if you go to betterhelp.com/boogie.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I guess DeFranco's been. I guess I've made DeFranco literally dozens of dollars at this point.
Yeah, there's the link.
Probably.
You guys can check it if you
Yep,
want.
I see it right there. Holy shit! Affiliate plus UTM.
So you're saying you
campaign.
didn't know anything about this? Like this is just.
No, man. I don't fucking ask questions like this, dude. Like the whole reason I work with a brand manager is so I don't have to ask questions like this. He's like, here's the deal, here's the product. I try the product. If I like it, I do the deal. That's all
So
I ever
wait,
think about.
Boogie, you don't ask questions like this, but I mean you're promoting a service for people that are depressed or have suicidal ideation. You don't
Right,
think
but I used it for 6 weeks before I recommended it.
yeah, but I mean that's the clever marketing technique that these people use. We get the influencer to say they use it, and then any criticism brought against the application of the service is deflected away because I used it personally. Off track. Yeah, no, I just wanted
Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. I just fangirled a little bit. I apologize. Go ahead.
So I mean, here's the thing I find weird, and maybe that you're completely unaware of this, but from what I'm seeing, this is it's got an eerie resemblance to something that's already happened once. I mean, you know, Josh has talked about it. You talked about it a little bit with the AI stuff. Them taking information from people and then feeding it into either an AI algorithm or some kind of a learning program or something like that, or using that for marketing purposes or something else offsite. I've already seen one group of YouTubers and influencers that had middling numbers to kind of high numbers, which were the skeptics. You had people with hundreds of thousands of subs working for a company called Candid, which directed all these people to use an app, and they were told it was, you know, free anonymous online speech. And then it turns out they're training an AI bot. And who's you know, the company that ends up buying it? Well, it's Amazon, it's Twitch, and now look at the state of Twitch. So now you've got this service, this site that's saying, hey, if you're depressed, hey, if you're screwed up, hey, if you're suicidal, hey, if things are really dark, come use our website. And then you find out that, oh, you know, maybe not everybody's you know, licensed like they should be, or maybe we can sell your information to whoever we want. I mean, imagine how crushing that is. If I'm a fan of Phil DeFranco, or you.
No, trust me, imagine how fucking crushing it is to me right now when it's my reputation on the line. Imagine how crushing it is to me when I've been talking about depression and anxiety my entire life, talking about therapy my entire life. And if this turns out to end up being miserable, this shit's gonna ruin, I'm not ruin me. I'll be fine. Like, it's not gonna ruin my YouTube channel. Shit, the shit I've gone through this last year to ruin it, my channel is always gonna be around. But I'm not gonna be able to fucking sleep at night, dude. If I've misled my fucking audience, I'm just gonna fucking ruin me.
Well, yeah, but think about the kid. Think about the kid that uses a service and then finds out, let's say a month from now or 2 months from now, that the really screwed up shit in their life, you know, the abuse or the depression or the suicidal ideation, got sold to somebody that's training a fucking AI bot, or that these personal conversations are just floating out there. And the other really weird thing is, why did none of the influencers or the people that are involved in this look at the percentages and say, okay, something is clearly wrong here? Josh had mentioned that most people went for the 2-month package. That was the one that seemed to be the most attractive, that balances out to about $350 up front. So if I pay $350 for a service, but then the person that referred me is getting $200, that means the person giving the referral is getting the majority of the money, which obviously means the service itself is not what's generating profit for the company.
Right, but okay, but I mean, back in the day when I was selling, think about it. They signed up for $60 a week, right? I think that's what they said when I signed up. So $60 a week. And so that's $240 a month. So imagine I get paid $200. They make a $40 profit in the first month. In a 2-month package, they double the amount of money. So they paid me $200, so they made $480.
What was the price of the 2-month? I thought you said it was like $350, wasn't it?
It was $60 a week.
68, I think. It scales. At the most, if you buy a single week, you pay like $80 a week. If you buy an entire year, it's $35 per week.
Okay, well, I am on a monthly bill, and let me look up and tell you exactly when I'm getting a monthly bill. Here's the thing, guys. Like, I'm more than glad to help you build a case here. If there's a case to be built, I want to help you fucking build it. I got no problem with that. And if it means my fucking reputation on the line, if it means I get tore the fuck up because I sold this thing, then I don't give a shit, because if it's a bad company, I want the bad company.
Well, no, this sounds like DeFranco is fucking you, to be honest, with the weird, his URL attached to your referral link. It's like a Ponzi scheme, right? Like he's getting the biggest pie on everybody. Am I off on that? Am I the only one looking at this? Like, okay, that's a little weird. Why would he be related to these referral links?
I had literally no clue about any of that stuff, so that's a big surprise to me. Fuck, I don't know how to find.
We even had like Shane Dawson today came out and said he was going to look into it. You know, I don't see any evidence that he looked into it.
Shane Dawson,
it really seems like
campaign on it, right? But isn't October 10th, that's World Mental Health Day? So his big series comes out 2 weeks before World Mental Health Day, advertising BetterHelp. What bigger impact could you have for your service than having that message most viewed by everybody?
With DeFranco's involvement still a part of the ongoing investigation, it's a good time to recall the wording he used when covering the CSGO debacle. His words then are very similar to what he responded with when addressing his connection with BetterHelp. As stated on his own video, he revealed his true relation with the company, not just as an affiliate, but as a partner. A connection he did not reveal until this whole situation blew up in his face.
YouTubers, entertainers, whoever, you need to be transparent in your sponsorships. If I say, ooh, I like Starbucks coffee because I like burnt old coffee, and I'm not getting paid, that's cool. But if I'm like, oh, I love Starbucks coffee, Starbucks is giving me like $60,000 to say I love Starbucks coffee, and I don't let you know that Starbucks is paying me to say this, I would be a scumbag. About BetterHelp, the online counseling service, which for full transparency, I'm not sure how familiar you are with these videos or the business side of things that we've talked about with my company on DeFranco Elite. BetterHelp has been a sponsor of our videos. We've even partnered with them at a company level to help them with other sponsorships with other YouTubers. Also, and it's not just a shtick from a sponsor read, it is a service I personally use, a service I personally love. In addition to recommending it in sponsored videos, I recommend it to friends and family, especially friends and family that are like, oh, I don't have the time to talk to someone. And so with all of that kind of explained from the get-go, that's why I was so taken aback yesterday when all of a sudden there was this wave of claims that BetterHelp was a scam.
If a YouTuber with less than 75,000 subscribers and not a team of more than 10 people behind her was able to do due diligence and avoid the sponsorship because of the terms of service, how can we expect to believe that Philip DeFranco, with a full news team and a Patreon funding of over $70,000 a month, simply overlooked this task? This raises too many questions not only about BetterHelp but DeFranco's involvement. Not only that, but back in 2017, mainstream media appears to have voiced similar concerns as the ones we are dealing with at the moment. As well, after DeFranco addressed the situation on Twitter, BetterHelp also updated their terms of service. As of October 7th, we can actually see some changes to the website as we mentioned previously. Going back to BetterHelp itself, they market themselves as the best option out there for counseling and therapy, and even have a study posted on their FAQ that shows that they are a better option than face-to-face therapy. So why do they contradict these statements in their own campaign in terms of service? And that's not everything wrong with the study itself. The study allegedly was done by the University of Berkeley, and it claims that 78% of BetterHelp patients that have severe depression don't have it after they have used the service. But we know that BetterHelp rejected a lot of people that they considered severe. Also, as investigated by a viewer and Memology, the only place this article is available at the moment is on their website. And, as we addressed before, DeFranco's network is not the only network working as a partner with BetterHelp on a company level. One last note, we have the thoughts of a professional counselor on BetterHelp's practices and their YouTube sponsorships.
They're thinking about quitting YouTube, they're quitting social media, they're getting burned out on YouTube, and all sorts of things. They're burned out with the topics that they were talking about before, and then they all of a sudden, plug BetterHelp.com. Because how do you segue into talking about an app that provides mental health services, other than talking about mental health issues, right? So it's my belief, after experiencing this wave as a high consumer of YouTube myself, that I think that it's actually the sponsorship opportunity itself that has created this wave of depression that has hit YouTube And it's depressing the people who are watching YouTube to see all of this depression, right? Depression spreads, you know. A couple of them, it seems like when people get into this sponsorship, there's also like a curious networking opportunity, because when they make their video about how they're so depressed, they talk about the other YouTubers that are also in the sponsorship. Not other YouTubers that have also had depression, but all other YouTubers who have also plugged BetterHelp. Like Shane Dawson, for example, he's plugging Katie Morgan, who already had a sponsorship deal with BetterHelp. And he, in some flashbacks, will show like Boogie2988. And then there's Elle Mills, Elle of the Mills, right? So she makes a video showing how horribly depressed she felt, right? And then she plugs BetterHelp for her video. And then a whole bunch of other YouTubers who've also plugged BetterHelp make videos about her, like, say, Philip DeFranco, right? And then she comes back and makes a follow-up video on her YouTube burnout video, and she shows clips of all those other people who talked about her. So there's this curious networking of people who are plugging BetterHelp, and it does stand out as like glaringly obvious to me, like there's something going on in the background here. I myself am a clinician, and I recognize dual relationships, multiple relationships as an ethical concern right away with this app. And to be specific, the American Psychological Association, it puts out a code of ethics, and the codes that I am referring to are 3.08, 3.05, and 6.05 in tandem, okay? So it's an exploitative relationship that they are creating with their sponsors. But today I just wanted to ramble a little bit more about BetterHelp, because last night I had a very lively discussion with Misty about BetterHelp, and we were discussing all the different points about like how they could be getting around the ethical problems that online counseling creates, because you're not supposed to have business dealings to advertise your company when you're a counseling company and you're counseling that person. You're not supposed to have two relationships with that person. It's under multiple relationships, bartering and pay, and what was the other? Exploiting relationships. And that's kind of dealing with the way that what their goal is in giving them therapy is creating that, you know, I'm not just the president for Hair Club for Men, I'm a client as well, style advertising, right? They want the fake manufactured testimonial, and then they script it for them anyway. You know, you must read this, this, and this in your video in order to get paid. You get somebody who's applying to be a client of yours, and you screen them, and you decide whether or not you can give them the appropriate level of care that they need. The reasoning behind your decision as to whether you can give them the appropriate care primarily is whether or not they need care. Okay? But in BetterHelp's sponsorship program, the YouTubers that have been getting the free counseling in order to try it out, the primary reason for BetterHelp to give that counseling to them is not because they need help. It's because they need sponsees to pimp their product, right? And because the primary reason for the level of care that they're getting is not whether or not they need care, it's more they're a big YouTuber with a large audience who can bring other clients to us. This creates another ethical violation, right? And in talking with Misty last night, for those of you who don't know, Misty's a social worker, I'm a counselor. So we're both in the behavioral fields here.